Guys, we are back. And so guys, we are back for another video. So I'm back with a power pack. That's a charger, 2 USB charger, 9 amps. As you can see, adaptive fast charging. So this is what I use, as you mentioned in the previous video, this is what I use to power my Kodak Easyshare. That's a 9 amps input, output, fast charging efficiency. So that's what I'm using now presently here. For those of you that asked, that didn't see the charger itself. So this is the charger I use. X-Charge. I've mentioned the specs. I've done an unboxing of this as well. It does 5.1 volts, 9 amps, and it pretty much does a little better in giving that same voltage in this both ports, both USB ports. Also, I'm back with I also have a power bank here, 2 power banks for charging to power the Kodak Z812IS, which I have here, as I mentioned before. So this one is at 100. I also have this is a solar power bank. I can use it to power the camera as well through the USB ports, which I made in the previous video. If you haven't seen the video I did of how I converted that USB ports to be able to use, converted the camera to be able to use output from external devices, like I mentioned before. So this has the power button right here. Fortunately for me, this power bank also has a flashlight right here. It does a very good job in giving that brightness as well. So this is a 20,000 mAh power bank. That's a compass here. This is the solar charger, 20,000 mAh. Output is 5 volts, 200 mA. That's for the solar panel to charge this power bank itself. It takes a very long time to charge the solar panel. While the inputs for it is 5 volts, 1.6 amps to charge this power bank. So where I'm going to now mostly is the amp outputs. In order for this camera to work, to power this camera, right here in the voltage regulate, the ports for DC in ports, you have the 3 volts written here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's 3 volts written right here. 3 volts. It's very hard to see. DC in 3 volts. Yeah, that's it right there. So this is the port you can use. Although I haven't seen this port in the market, I'm still looking for it. This is the port for the HDMI to connect to your PC or to connect to your TV, I think so. AV out or something like that. So the power bank right here, the second one I have, is also 5 volts 2 amps. That is the output, I guess. That's it right here, 5 volts 2 amps. The input is 5 volts 2 amps as well. Type-C input is 5 volts 2 amps. That's to charge the power bank. So approximately this can power these 2 power banks are very good, and they can be able to power this Kodak Z812IS as long as they are 5 volts. Anything other than 5 volts or 3 volts, you might not let the camera on. We might turn the camera power a little bit low. So it does 5 volts 2 amps, which is kind of efficient to power this power bank, maybe power this Kodak Z812IS for maybe like an hour or 2 hours. That's if it's on full charge. This is 10,000 mAh. So whereas I'm using this, I might likely use this if I want it to last longer. If you understand what I mean. So in order for us to start, since I have my charger plugged in, I just need to connect to my charger instead of the power bank. I just brought it to explain for you. I've got 4 ports output. So in case I want to do a high-tech production, I may just likely plug my power banks to plug my phone to the USB power bank, that is the solar one, or I may plug my camera to this one to make it power itself. So I have the cord right here, for those of you that are asking. This is it. Just plug it right here. So right now it's giving it power. Before you turn on your camera, make sure you remove the lens cover. I'm using a Nikon lens cover. This is 52 millimeter LC52. So lens is on, camera is on. Back to the modes. So like I've told you before, I've done some previous example of how you can use the camera and so much more. So like that, you can take pictures with it with the use of the flash. You can get some good results. I'm still on smart scene detection. This is auto settings, and for aperture priority, shutter priority, manual, and favorite 720p or 640p video. I've mentioned this before, panorama and so on, high definition. So like I've mentioned before, this is the zoom button for the Kodak Z812. This is your aperture mode dial for changing different aspects. Either you want to change the exposure composition, which is down here, just click on the button. It does click, double click it or click it once, change your ISO, or click it once again and go back here and change your exposure composition. Let's take a picture right here and see. That's a little bit too bright, it's too white. Delete that. So that's just really what I wanted to use this video to do, to explain to you guys, those are asking how I was able to power the Kodak Z812IS with my external power modification device. You can use the power bank as I mentioned before, but the power bank has to be a very good capacity to power the Kodak Z812IS. As you all know, presently the cameras tend to have more consumption power than previous cameras. Although this is also an old camera, but it takes a lot of power, because in order for camera to power this flash, the flash capacitor needs to charge itself. So it takes a lot of power to power this camera flash itself. So that's why I mentioned that you need to have a very good power bank or a good power adapter that does either 9 amps or 5 volts. So the other things that are in my bag right here, as I mentioned before, I have my tripod stand, which I'm using to record my video now. Bag of it, I can use to put my tripod stand bag right there. As I mentioned before, the 8 data memory card in the previous video. So you have the battery itself, yes. So these are the batteries I use. Both of them are exhausted, extremely exhausted, but they're also LR6 size AA 1.5 volt batteries, which are recommended battery for you to use now presently. The way I live, is very hard for you to get the KLIC battery, that's the official battery for the Kodak Z812IS, which is rechargeable. It's very hard for you to get. So these are the ones which can be gotten presently. So you have this, the adapter. You have like a lot of this as well. I have like 3. These are the adapter for the SD card adapter, blah blah blah. And also have a memory card here inside one of these adapters. Most of them are not working, but I have another 8 gig here. This is also a Troopers. I want to check the class of this as well. This is a class 10 as well. So right off the bat, you can get fast image processing from your camera through this SD card. But I will not advise you to shoot 4K videos or high production content with this. You need to step up your game and get a better camera SD card. So yes, you have user manual for the camera. I didn't mention before, I have the camera lens cleaner, cloths. Yeah, I just managed to just get this to clean my lens. Just slightly use it to shift the lens cover, not press it, just press it slightly. I keep this lens cover in the bag very lightly and clean. As you can see, not a lot of dust is there. So just keep it clean, to clean your lens cover, and sometimes clean the top of your flash. Always learn to keep your lens cover clean and your lens clean itself. So when you're not using your camera, you can just turn it off and use the lens cover right here. So that's all inside the box, I think. These are other batteries that I use. Most of them are exhausted, and some of them are not really batteries that can power this camera for an hour. Unlike this, possibly this one don't power for an hour as well. Just using them like that. So that's the SD card, 8 gig, the bag and all the rest. I think that's all for my bag and the packaging for the camera accessories of the Kodak Z812IS. I also make use of the Nikon COOLPIX LA20, which is a camera I had previously, but suddenly it had some ailments which didn't make it to work again. This is the lens of it. That's a very big lens, Nikon 30x optical wide zoom lens. One thing I'll tell you for good is that the pictures this camera takes at 30x zoom is extremely beautiful. As I mean it, extremely beautiful. One of the downside of this is that it takes all the 4A batteries, AA batteries 4 at once. So anyone that gets a AA battery, like a pair of 4, instantly everything gets exhausted. So you can't have opportunity to use like 2 or 3. It gets exhausted within an instant. That does that for that. Same way we have the camera specification, just like the Kodak Z812, but this has more buttons by the side. This one is like for power button itself, just to power the camera without the use of batteries. That's a very good option for these cameras as well. That's the bridge cameras that have zoom. You have the flash button. This Nikon has a flash button which can be pressed and open, unlike the Kodak Z812, which you have to trigger the camera itself when it's turned on before the flash will pop out. So that's that for that. That's a bridge camera. I did a review of this as well. Make sure you check the channel or check the link in the description so you can watch that video. 16 megapixels camera, Nikon COOLPIX. So guys, I think that's all for the video. Next video I'm going to show you how to set up and use the camera to take close-up shots and portraits. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The Kodak Z812IS once again. Take a final picture for you guys to see. Let's not use high ISO this time around. Let's take a picture of this. Let's see. I think I need to take it to manual, because in manual mode I have those settings at first. Yes, still on the previous setting I used in the last video. ISO 400, exposure compensation minus 1.0, f1000, f8.1, that's the aperture, and the shutter speed 1 to 1000. I have my exposure on the focus on macro right here. Yes, as I changed it, flash on, completely on. So let's see. We take that now. Is it good? That's the focus button, the focus box. Yes, it's also quite okay. Let's zoom in the image and see. It's quite okay. That's nice. Another image before we leave. Bring it closer. One thing about this Kodak Z812IS is that the max focus box and focus points you have is up to like 5. That's the max focus point you have in this Kodak Z812IS. The box inside consists of 5 focus points. Now, that's a good shot. That's also a good shot. So guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.